and Sports Network.
It's a hot, sticky Thursday afternoon here in Houston, and the roof will be closed at Minute Maid Park, and it is time for baseball as the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. Today, it's the New York Yankees against the Houston Astros in the final game of a four-game set from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball, along with David Cohn and John Flaherty. I'm Michael Kay. What a performance last night. The Yankees win 4-0 over the Astros, and two men were the great contributors in this one, Luis Severino and Giancarlo Stanton. Why don't we start with Stanton?
Well, the Yankees have had such a tough time figuring out Dallas Keuchel, but Stanton came in here as the new Yankee and took care of that, driving one to right field, a two-run shot. The Yankees take an early lead, and then he wasn't done. Drops the hammer on a cutter down and in, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs for Stanton. A lot of reasons to smile.
And then on the other end, boy, you talk about thunder and lightning. Well, there was lightning coming out of Severino's arm last night. He completely overmatched this good Houston Astros lineup, and an energy and a passion on the mound that is just, for me, Michael, delightful to watch.
Yankees are clicking on all cylinders in the last 12 games, 11-1. They've scored 73 runs, but more importantly, they've allowed just 20. That's the fewest, tied for the fewest over any 12-game stretch since 1963. They pitched to a 1.50 ERA, and the opponents have only hit 185 against them. An amazing run for the New York Yankees right now, and they're trying to take 3 out of 4 from the Astros here at Minute Maid Park, and that would complete a road trip where they would be 6-1 on the road trip. Pretty good stuff. Let's take a look at the pitching matchup in this game. It's brought to you by People's United Bank NA. Masahiro Tanaka is going to start for the Yankees, and for the Astros, it's Lance McCullers Jr. Tanaka's pitched very well of late.
Yeah, and he's trying to follow the lead of the Yankee starters in this series, but the last 2 starts for Tanaka, he has been on top of his game. Last time out, the 9 strikeouts against the Angels. We know we're going to see a lot of splits, a lot of sliders. He's on a good run lately.
And McCullers has always bedeviled the Yankees.
Well, he has, and yeah, it's Captain Hook on the mound tonight. I mean, who could forget? He sent the Yankees home last offseason with 27 straight curveballs to end that game. You're going to see about 50% of those today, too, maybe even a little more, depending on how he gets it going. And it's a good one, and it's hard to hit.
It's going to be hard to top what Luis Severino did yesterday. The Yankees were glowing about him after the game, absolutely effusive in their praise. More on that from Meredith Marakovitz when we return right here on Yes.
Yankees baseball on Yes. I'm Meredith Morakovitz. Luis Severino had himself a night yesterday, tossing his first complete game shutout of his major league career, leaving his teammates impressed.
At the start of the game, he's throwing, 97, 96, 98. And then it just seems like as the game goes on, he starts throwing harder and harder, which is really impressive.
Command of all of his pitches. He's putting his fastball where he wants to, and throwing that slider and now changeup in any count. And it's like I said, it's fun to watch.
I wouldn't want to be in the box facing him. He's going to pound the zone and with 100 miles an hour. And if you look on time for that, you're gonna get that 90-mile-an-hour slider. So exactly what we needed tonight, and another part for the course outing for him.
He has dominant stuff. I mean, he's able to locate that fastball, also with that slider and changeup. So I mean, that together is a deadly combo.
It's incredible. He's, in my opinion, one of the best pitchers in the game, and he showed that tonight.
The Yankees now turn to Masahiro Tanaka to get the job done this afternoon. Also noteworthy, Tyler Austin not in the lineup, but he is okay. He's available off the bench. Instead, it'll be Neil Walker playing first base. Plenty more to come here on the Yes Network. When we get back, Michael Kay will be joined by David Cohn and John Flaherty. First pitch coming your way after the break.
United Bank, where the technology is as helpful as the people. And by the New York Lottery. Get out there and play. Well, the Yankees finish up their 7-game road trip, 3 games in Anaheim, which they swept. And this is the 4th and final game here in Houston against the Astros. They've taken 2 of the first 3, and their pitching has been such a big part of it. If you look up and down the Yankee lineup, which we'll give you momentarily, you'll see a lot of the Yankee hitters have not had great road trips offensively. And this has been a road trip where they have featured the pitching, and the pitching has been just absolutely exceptional. So the Astros take the field, and we are moments away from baseball. A little matinee for you on the Yes Network. So let's take a look now at the Yankee lineup as put together by manager Aaron Boone. Yankees are 20-10, and they will lead off their center fielder Brett Gardner. Aaron Judge in right field will bat second. Hitting third, playing shortstop, Didi Gregorius. Giancarlo Stanton with 2 home runs yesterday. He'll play left field, he'll clean up. Batting fifth and catching, Gary Sanchez. Neil Walker at first base bats sixth. Number 7 hitter, the DH Miguel Andujar. Ronald Torreyes at third base will bat 8th, and batting 9th and playing second base, Gleyber Torres. Aaron Hicks just the day off.
And on the bump down here in Houston, inside today. Yes, we're playing day baseball, but the roof is closed, and that's Lance McCullers Jr., and he's been around a big league park for a long time. His dad did the same thing out there towing that slab, actually for the Yankees at one point. And on the season, he's been pretty good, and he is a very good pitcher. And let's tell you a little bit more in our pitcher scouting report. And Captain Hook, yes, he is Major League's preemptive Captain Hook, meaning he throws a lot of curveballs. Actually, 44.2% of all the pitches he's thrown in the big leagues in his career have been curveballs. And boy, he got some big splits on the home and away. Home cooking, he loves it here. 2.33 career ERA, and on the road, a 4.97 career ERA. Those are in 31 and 33 games started respectively, and then tough to lift. I mean, he also produces a lot of ground balls with those curve balls. 4 ground balls for every fly ball he gives up. That was the second best ratio in the major leagues to his teammate Dallas Keuchel.
Let's check out the Astros defense presented by Geico. It's Reddick, Marisnik, and Springer left to right in the outfield. Bregman, Correa, Altuve, and Gonzalez in the infield. McCann behind the plate. Let's do it here in Houston, and the first pitch is a strike, and we're underway. Gardner just 1 hit and 16 at bats on the road trip. Count 1-1. David, simple question. I don't know if you have the answer, though. Throwing that many breaking balls, how can the arm stand up?
You know, actually, scientific studies have shown that the fastball and the extension you have to have on it is more taxing on the arm.
Okay.
That's sort of the old school theory. I know growing up, everybody thought that. Don't teach a kid to throw a curveball too young. If you throw too many yackers, as they say, you know, you're going to hurt your arm. But it's actually quite the opposite, according to recent medical data.
One and two on Gardner. Yankees looking to take 3 of 4 from the defending world champions. Right back to McCullers. One away. Let's look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. We're indoors, so the weather doesn't matter that much. Outside, it's 85 degrees, 61% humidity. The wind is 15 miles per hour. Partly cloudy, warm, and humid. I mentioned the roof at Minute Maid is closed. Here's Aaron Judge, 5 hits and 23 at-bats on the road trip, hitting .312 overall. Shift is on, 3 infielders on the left side. High fly ball, right field. Springer moves over and makes the play.
See Aaron Judge, a little smile on his face right there as he walks by. First pitch swinging on the fastball, didn't get it. And you look at McCullers on the year, he's had 1 bad outing, 8 earned runs and 3 2/3 against Minnesota, and the rest of the outings been outstanding.
Here's Didi Gregorius, 6 hits and 24 at-bats on the trip. Shift is on for Gregorius, 3 infielders on the right side. And there's a strike. David mentioned Captain Hook. He closed out Game 7 of the ALCS against the Yankees and threw 24 straight curveballs, and they knew it was coming and they couldn't hit him. And the Astros got through a lot of their postseason using their starters to close games.
Yeah, there was a lot of debate with regard to McCullers as to whether he'd be better suited as a super reliever, similar to what he did in the postseason last year. But as Flash said earlier, he's really starting to establish himself in that rotation.
Now, the only thing that McCullers has never given them is a full season. He always seems to get hurt, and he's always around the 110, 120 inning mark. So he started game 4 in the ALCS, pitched very well. In game 7, 1 hit in 4 innings. Ground ball and through for a base hit. So Gregorius with a 2-out single. This is what happened last night to give Stanton an at-bat in the first inning, and that's what's going to happen here.
Didi went on a little slide for a few days, and you're wondering maybe if he's a little fatigued, but he's bounced back nicely, swinging the bat a whole lot better.
Yeah, going the other way, too.
Yeah.
Breaking it down. A good 2-strike approach there from Didi.
Here's Stanton. Big night last night. Drove in all 4 Yankee runs. A 2-run home run, a solo home run, and an RBI double. 1-0.
You know, David, you mentioned Severino last night and how he says all the right things and does all the right things. I love what Stanton said after the game last night. Yeah, I had a big night, but I have to go out there and have big weeks. Obviously, a couple of home runs, 4 RBIs. But also an attitude that I have to be the man for extended period of time.
Yeah, he has really handled everything that's come his way very well, and it's been a bumpy ride so far.
Been a lot of everything, right?
Yep. Everything he's handled and never hasn't complained. So to his credit. To your point, Flash, he said one game's not going to do it.
Goes with the fastball there.
The thing about Stanton is he's made some good plays in left field, and that's not an easy transition. And not to make excuses, distractions or whatever, but he's a legitimate weapon now in left field. I mean, Darren Boone can run him out there. Above average speed, good attitude. He made 2 4-star catches on this road trip out in Anaheim, which is a StatCast metric. 5-star obviously being the best type of catch. Range, speed.
2-2. Swing and a miss. A wave and a breaking ball diving down and away. No runs to hit, no errors, and 1 man left. It's the Yankees nothing, and the Astros coming to bat. George Springer will lead off, batting second, playing second. Jose Altuve, Carlos Correa at shortstop will hit third. Cleaning up the DH, Yuli Gurriel. Josh Reddick in left field will bat fifth. Batting sixth, playing third base, Alex Bregman. Marwin Gonzalez at first base will bat in the number 7 spot. Batting eighth, the catcher, Brian McCann. And Jake Marisnick is in center field. He's going to bat ninth.
Good shot at Tanaka-san on the mound. This will be his 7th start on the year, and those numbers are getting better and better. The normal 8 to 37 walks to strikeouts, that's always a number that he does as well as anybody around in the game. Doesn't walk him, and he'll strike him out. Let's go ahead and give you our scouting report. And trending in the right direction. He had a little bump in the road. He got beat up at Boston on April 11th, and then followed that up by getting knocked around by Miami. But his last 2 starts have been very Tanaka-like, very good. Protect his splitter. His splitter is obviously his best pitch, but he needs to throw just enough fastballs to kind of take some pressure off of that splitter, and beware of the small sample sizes here against Houston, and I'll give those to you in a minute.
And there's a strike.
You come in and you look at it. This is what I say. You say, well, against Houston, he's got a 10.38 ERA and 4 starts, so that's a small sample size. He pitched very well against them in postseason last year.
One of the guys that hits him well is the guy at the plate, Springer. 6 for 17 against Tanaka with 2 home runs. Did not like that strike 2 call. Count 0-2.
Jim Reynolds behind the plate. Maybe down, maybe in. Sanchez bringing it back to the strike zone.
Give you the entire umpiring crew. Jim Reynolds behind the plate. John Tompane at first. Mark Wegner at second. And Alfonso Marquez is at third. Wegner is the crew chief. Fouled away.
It was Tanaka's 7 shutout innings against these Astros the last time he faced them in Game 5 of the ALCS last year to put the Yankees on top 3-2 before they came back down to Houston. It was a hold serve kind of series. The home teams won every game.
Swing and a miss. Springer down on strikes. Let's check out the Yankees defense presented by Geico. In the outfield, it's Stanton, Gardner, and Judge. Left to right, we told you Hicks, just a day off. In the infield, Torreyes at third, Gregorius at short, Gleyber Torres at second, Walker is at first, Sanchez behind the plate, Tanaka is on the mound. Aaron Boone raving about Gleyber Torres today. He said how he's taking control in the infield, not at all like a 21-year-old. Shift is on for Altuve. 3 infielders on the left side. And he waves out a pitch diving down and away.
David, I'm glad in that scouting report you mentioned protect the splitter, and he's got to throw his fastball just enough. And there's kind of a fine line there, right? I mean, the numbers against the slider, the numbers against the split are so good that you're tempted to just stay with those 2, but you have to throw your fastball a little bit.
Cracked to left field. It is a foul ball. Not much room between the wall and the foul line.
Well, just talking about the fastball, and that's exactly what Tanaka did. And you see, wow, how close that was. Just foul.
Just a loud strike.
Wow. Wow. About as close as it could get. Some paint flew up as well.
Flashy look at Altuve in the box, kind of off the dish a little bit, open stance, but really dives. You watch how he starts right there, middle of the box. Looks like he's pretty far away, but watch his lead foot and diving.
Ground ball, Torres. 2 away.
Wonder where the Astros are at offensively right now, right? I mean, Severino was brilliant last night and dominated that lineup. But in this series, offensively, the Astros have been a little inconsistent all year, and the Yankees have been able to handle them. So you wonder how they're going to deal with Tanaka. A couple of quick outs already.
Here's Correa. And there's a strike.
The underrated things about the Yankee rotation is the diversity of styles. You know, Severino with straight gas last night. Now you're getting the mix of pitches from Tanaka. Sabathia in that mix, a whole different style. That graphic certainly tells you all you need to know about what the Yankee pitching has done. One of the best staffs I've ever been a part of was back in the 80s with the Mets, and it was a different style every night coming at you. Sid Fernandez, Doc Gooden, Bobby Oida, changeup guy, and hitters used to talk about that. It was such a different look every night. Ron Darling in that mix with the splitter.
Ground ball is short. And Tanaka works a 1-2-3 first inning. Well, it's a matinee game, so there's a lot of kids here. Kids love donuts, right? Well, they've seen 23 straight donuts put up by the Astros offense. They have not scored in 23 straight innings. Camry Hybrid is the official hybrid vehicle of the New York Yankees. We asked, do you think MLB managers should allow starting pitchers to try for complete games more often? Why or why not? One of the respondents, if the starter still feels good and can go, why not? The first sign of trouble, example, a 4-pitch walk or a hit by pitch, pull him. Well, they let Severino go and pitched his first complete game of his career. We go to the second. There's a strike to Sanchez. Can you guys believe that the Astros have gone 23 innings without scoring? It's hard to believe. 9 of them against Severino last night.
Well, the Yankees were raving about Severino, but the Astros as well after the game. Very honest in their assessment that he just dominated their lineup.
Follow Yes Network and tweet us your responses using hashtag Yankees Camry Hybrid to keep the conversation going.
One of the things I enjoyed last night, right when that game was over, it was Romine, it was Severino, but this guy, Gary Sanchez, ran out there to congratulate both of them, which shows you where his mind was when he was DHing. He was into that, happy for complete game shutout.
Two and two. Did he go? No, he did not, said John Tumpain.
Good call.
Three infielders stacked on the left side for the righty swinging Sanchez. Marwin Gonzalez lonely on the right side for the Astros. 3-2 and a walk. Now, Meredith, you spoke to Boone about keeping Severino in for the complete game, right?
And Michael, he said that was not an easy decision for him. Severino at just 98 pitches heading into that 9th inning. He actually spoke to Severino after the 7th and the 8th inning, and he assured him that he was okay. Severino told him he felt like he still had something left in his arm, but Boone did say there was trepidation there. But one thing that he said before the game about Severino, the thing that has impressed him so much is how bad he wants it, how hard he works. He wants to be the guy on the team that can go the distance. Ironic that he did last night.
Neil Walker swings and misses. David, I always hear that the manager talks to the pitcher, and it's Yankee lore how you lied to Joe Torre on the mound during a World Series. Is a pitcher ever going to say, I'm cooked?
Well, Billy Martin was right. Pitchers are born liars. I mean, that's what we do for a living. We're trying to deceive you. So, yeah, sometimes you have to take the decisions out of the player's hands. But with regard to Severino last night, to me, 115 pitches is a normal mark. He was in such good shape, and he was cruising. So winning not only the complete game, but winning the game, he gave you your best chance. I mean, the days of throwing 135 or 140 pitches are over, but nothing wrong with 115 to 120, right in that range. And Severino was in great shape. Under 100 pitches after 8, to me, is a no-brainer. The way he was cruising, of course, you go right on out there. You've got a good 15 to 20 more pitches to work with to finish the 9th inning.
It's really interesting, David, that Verlander was so great with the 8 shutout innings the other day as Neil Walker gets plunked. And Hinch asked Verlander, do you have anything else? Can you give us the 9th? And Verlander said, no, I'm done. So that's when they brought in Giles, and the Yankees ended up winning the game.
It seemed like Verlander worked a little harder than Severino did. He had a few more strikeouts, a few more deeper counts, even though the pitch counts were similar. It just looked to me like it. Don't get me wrong, Verlander was completely dominating, but Severino had a bounce in his step out there, an energy that was palpable. And his first chance, first career shutout.
Here's Andujar, first and second. Nobody out for the Yankees here in the 2nd, threatening against McCullers. 1-0.
Good test for Andujar here today with McCullers and that breaking ball specialist. We've all seen the lightning in Andujar's bat. Just 2 walks so far this year, though. The patience will be tested. .91 at-bats now on the season for Miguel. 20 strikeouts and 2 walks.
So you're saying a breaking ball's coming here? They're not going to give in?
He's going to get tested throughout the day. It's a nice spot for him with nobody out, 1st and 2nd, already up 2-0 in the count. If he can get into these kind of counts more often, then you'll start to say, boy, this kind of production is sustainable.
(3-0) on Andujar. Torreyes on deck. Boone is not afraid to give his hitters a green light. And he does. Grounded up the middle and through for a base hit. Sanchez rounds 3rd. The ball is bobbled in center by Marisnick, but Sanchez had been held up, and the bases are loaded.
Check out this for Miguel's at bat. Changeup down, good spit. Slider up, doesn't get the call, but good take. Fastball at the top of the zone, no call again. Turn it loose. Pretty good pitch from McCullers. He got it in a pretty good spot, and that is bat speed and top spin and well located.
And Phil Nevin, the third base coach, really did not have any choice. You see Sanchez kind of flat-footed, comes around, Nevin holds him up. Marisnick has trouble coming up with a clean. Good call there by Nevin.
Here's Torres getting the start at third. He's hit safely in all 10 of his previous starts. He's got the bases loaded. Nobody out here in the second. Chopped slowly and off the glove of Bregman. Everybody safe. Yankees lead 1-0.
Well, coming into this series, we knew that the Houston Astros had a good pitching staff and a very good defensive ball club. It's going to be scored a base hit and an RBI.
Oh, what a shock. Big toe swinging at the first pitch.
Yeah, really.
Puts it in play. And thank you very much for the knock in the ribby.
McCullers has got to be thinking, you got to be kidding me, right? A seeing eye base hit from Andujar, and then Torres to Bregman. They can't get an out. Body language not great.
And the pitch to Gleyber Torres is outside, 1-0.
Break a ball from McCullers really side to side. I remember it having a little more tilt in the postseason last year, kind of sweeping around it and having trouble throwing it for strikes.
Yankees, good approach, laying off.
Fly ball, right field. Springer makes the catch. Tagging is Walker. Here he comes. Here's the throw. He's in there. Sac fly for Torres, 2-0 Yanks.
Well, good situational hitting from a young hitter. Solid approach. Runner at third, less than 2 outs. You want to stay underneath it and drive it to the middle of the field the other way. Didn't hit it great, but just enough. Springer, the strong throw up the line just a little bit. A good slide by Walker.
And the pitching coach, Brent Strom, goes out and talks with McCullers. So here's the anatomy of a rally. A walk, a hit by pitch, a seeing eye single up the middle, an infield single, and a sac fly. It's 2-0 Yanks.
It's a John Sterling inning, right? That's baseball, Susan.
Yep. So here's Brett Gardner, 4 hits in his last 40 at-bats. Grounded back to the pitcher to open the game. So he has first and second with 1 out. 2 runs already in. Oh and 1.
You know, Michael, you mentioned it, the anatomy of a slump and what is a slump. And I really believe Brett Gardner's hit into some bad luck this year. He's had some good at-bats. He hasn't had a lot to show for it. But you feel it, though, Flash, right? You need something tangible.
Yeah, you remind me of Tino Martinez, who didn't want to hear that, hey, way to swing it.
Ground ball to second. They have 1 play. They make it at first. Runners move up, 2 down. And a big spot coming up for Aaron Judge. Second and third, 2 outs. Judge hit a fly ball right in the first inning. We're in the top of the second. Matinee baseball here on Yes. Yankees lead 2-0 against the Astros. So McCullers will go from the full windup. Second and third, 2 outs. And a strike. just clips the outside corner with the breaking ball. 1-2. And they're making McCullers work. 37 pitches, 2 outs here in the second. And the pitch. Push the envelope. A little too far outside.
Well, good takes from Aaron Judge. He really hasn't had a pitch in this at bat to do anything with. So good job laying off.
And that one gets past McCann. Here comes Andujar. He is out. Good tag by McCullers to get Andujar trying to score the 3rd run. It got to the backstop in a hurry. McCann scrambled after it, right to McCullers for the final out. A special Star Wars theme throughout the night and appearances by some of your favorite Star Wars characters. In addition, the first 40,000 guests in attendance receive a special Aaron Judge Jedi bobblehead. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849, and may the 4th be with you. Here's Gurriel. Yankees have a 2-0 lead. 1-0. John, how tough a play was that for McCann?
Well, it was made a lot easier because the ball really bounced off of that back wall. It's that little flip throw that's not the easiest thing in the world.
Lined and caught by Torres. 1 away.
Just doing his thing, right? Just going to get base hits, drive in runs, make great plays wherever they play me all over the field. No big deal.
There's just no shelf life for this guy, right? I mean, you can come off the bench, not playing for whatever, and do that.
It's all attitude and preparation, and Aaron Boone talks about it. His pregame routine, working all over the field, and then the attitude that I know what my role is. I'll be ready whenever you put me in.
Reddick takes inside.
You know what, Michael? What I liked about that play at the plate was McCullers kind of diving in there to block the plate, right? I mean, there's a pitcher who was not afraid of contact with Andujar.
His right thigh right in the middle of possibly a spike, but he didn't get spiked.
It's actually a good idea for a pitcher to go low. If you try to stay on your feet and you get your legs tangled up, it can lead to a knee injury. And actually happened to me in the minor leagues. Ended up with an torn ACL.
Ground ball right side. Walker fields and flips to Tanaka for the second out.
It's a right play by Edhar. No hesitation. He did the right thing. And Flash is dead on. It's all about the ricochet and the flip. When this goes by, you go, no doubt about it. But off the screen, just enough right back to McCann, and then McCullers right where he's supposed to be.
Here's Alex Bregman. Yankees shift for him. Lepatora is on the shortstop side of second base. One and one. Missed outside, 2-1.
I think this is the part of the Astros order that has sniped them early in the going here, especially in this series. Bregman, Gonzalez, Reddick, all below 250. I think they expected a lot more production from those guys. They probably eventually will get it. It's a good young player right here. He's not a 250 hitter. Gonzalez at 228. He had a career year last year.
It's lined into center field. It's a base hit. Gardner will play it on a hop. So a two-out single for Bregman.
Everything away to Bregman, and we've seen the hits that he's gotten here in this series going the other way. Tanaka tried to sneak a fastball by him, but he wouldn't let it happen. Location not great either.
Looks nice in Yesmo, brought to you by your Tri-State Mercedes-Benz dealers. Here's Marwin Gonzalez. And the pitch. 0-1.
One of the biggest changes I've seen with equipment, Flash, is the bats. I mean, there's some pretty bats now. There's so many different bat companies, and I don't even know what that one is. It's nice looking, though. I've seen silver bats, black, different colors, different styles. They've even got handles that are funky looking now, different.
Back in the day, it was Louisville Slugger and go get him, right?
Every team in this era of long bullpens, they want a Marwin Gonzalez. He plays 7 positions, and the Astros actually believe that he plays all 7 at a Gold Glove level. So he's an everyday player without an everyday position.
Kind of like Ronald Torreyes, you know, when you watch him go through his pregame routine, Gonzalez, he's all over the place and trying to stay sharp wherever they're going to need him.
Guy who had a 907 OPS last year. where the world champion Houston Astros hit 303. His triple slash line, 303, 377, 530 on the slugging. A breakout career year for him last year.
Keeping Bregman close. The 1-2. Slow roller up the first baseline, but it kicks foul. Grabbed there by Walker. Astros are 20-12. Yankees are 20-10. And Aaron Boone now has the best record of any Yankee manager who took over a Yankee job without ever having managed before after 30 games. So he is 20-10 in the first 30 games of his career. No one's done better.
Thought he set a real nice tone early when some of the injuries started happening and maybe a little sluggish start. There was never any panic. When you watch him manage in the dugout, you don't sense any panic. It's relaxed and control.
I thought you made a great point during our appearance on the batting practice show, David. They struggled, but they struggled at 9-9. They didn't struggle where they were, 5-13. 9-9, you could play yourself out of it.
Now, all you have to do is look west to the Dodgers right now, and the hole is getting a little deeper. The injuries pile up. He treaded water, and really was challenged on the bullpen too, as the Yankees bullpen got out of the gate slowly, and that was going to be the most important part for Aaron Boone, was handling that bullpen.
Don Mattingly once told me nothing makes a manager look dumb like a bullpen that doesn't perform. You could call on the right guy if he doesn't do his job. It's your fault. It's not his.
Nothing lights up a fan base quicker. How could you bring that guy in? Why are you using him? Including us up here.
Runner at first, 2 outs. Shift is on for Gonzalez. 3 infielders on the right side. Yankees lead 2-0. Blocked by Sanchez.
Remember those games in this series that were, about 2 hours and 30 minutes? This one doesn't have the same type of feel. McCullers scuffling a little bit. Tanaka working deliberately.
Some deep counts. Three-two count here. This will be the 8th pitch of this at bat and the 19th pitch of this inning coming. Tanaka wants the splitter.
Runner will go from first. 3-2, 2 outs. Grounded to first. Walker's there. Flips to Tanaka, and that will do it. Here in the second, no runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. 2 in the books at Minute Maid. 2-0 Yanks. Set with the Cleveland Indians, and yes, has pre- and post-game coverage surrounding the game on Pix 11. Then on Saturday, we've got full coverage of Game 2 starting at noon with Audi batting practice today. It's right here on Yes. Those 3 games, the final games of an 18-game stretch without a day off. And you see the matchups: Tomlin against Sabathia tomorrow, Bauer against Gray, Clevenger against Herman. Aaron Judge was up when the ball got past McCann, and McCann tossed to McCullers to tag out and Duhar. So he gets a fresh count and takes a strike. Yankees scored 2 runs in the second. That's where we are right now, 2-0. Off the end of the bat, McCullers, 1 away. Here's Didi Gregorius, Player of the Month in the American League for the month of April. A couple of days before that, March. And the first Yankee to win the April award since Robinson Cano in 2010. Speaking of Cano, on this date in 2005, Robbie made his major league debut. He was 0 for 3 in a Yankee loss to Tampa. He got 2 hits the next day and has never looked back.
Yeah, I remember that spring training. Robinson Cano was kind of the talk of the spring. There's this guy in the backfield who's laying out BBs all over the place, and it didn't take him long to get to the big leagues.
High fly ball, deep left, going back. Reddick still back on the track at the wall. He leaps, it's off the wall. And Gregorius gets himself a double.
David, you talked about Didi going the other way in this series, and now going the other way with a little bit of pop. We've seen him pull so many home runs. This is just staying on a breaking ball out over the plate and hammering it to left center.
Yeah, that's the impressive part right there on the off-speed pitch, to lay back and drive it the other way. You know your swing's right when you can do that.
Here's Giancarlo Stanton. There's a strike. Swing and a miss. Good breaking ball. 0-2. Stanton struck out in the first inning. On 0-2, you can see McCullers likes to push the envelope with a breaking ball in the other batter's box. See if the batter chases. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Stanton didn't. Ground ball to third, Bregman. 2 outs. Sanchez walked and came around to score eventually in the second inning. A strike. 50 pitches for Lance McCullers Jr. McCullers, 24 years old, grew up in the shadow of Steinbrenner Field in Tampa, Florida. Yankees have 10 extra base hits in this series, and the Astros have just 2. Astros are also 1 for 18 with runners in scoring position. Yankees not all that much better. They are now 5 for 16, so they came into the game at 3 for 14.
Sounds like playoff baseball numbers, right? Dominant pitching usually in the postseason.
Yeah, all you got to do is just reverse those numbers and start talking about pitcher strand rates or left on base. Those sorts of numbers tend to, there's ebbs and flows. They tend to balance out over the course of a long season, but in a short series with dominant strikeout pitching, they can get skewed.
I'd be surprised here if McCullers kind of gives in and challenges Gary Sanchez, first base open. Neil Walker on deck. Seen a lot of changeups from McCullers, on right-handed hitting, and you can see McCullers and Brian McCann not on the same page at all today.
It's almost like he was watching Severino last night, and Larry Rothschild was quoted after the game as saying they game planned to Severino to mix in his changeup more, try to establish it, and you noticed that early, Flash. And to your point, yeah, they're going to have to talk this over a little bit.
This is a bad feeling between a pitcher and a catcher when you just can't get on the same page. There's no rhythm. The pitcher knows what he's feeling. The catcher's trying to get on the same page with him. Sometimes it's tough.
I would imagine, Lance McCullers is very talented. I don't think he'd be the easiest guy to catch out there, Flash. Brian McCann knows what he's doing back there.
Yep.
(3-1). Now 3-2 with Gregorius at second and 2 outs. One thing I've noticed, John, and you said it early, we were watching him in the postseason, and he had a 12-6 breaking ball that was always in the strike zone, whether it was going to be called a strike or not, how much it dipped. But now it's kind of going east to west, and it's way outside the strike zone. The Yankees are taking it. And another walk for Sanchez.
What happens with a lot of breaking ball pitchers is you kind of tend to get around it a little bit. And throughout the course of a season, that happens. Sometimes it's release point. Sometimes you adjust your grip a little bit to try to get the depth back. But pitchers who feature a lot of breaking balls, and I know I was one of them, you can go through those phases where you try to help it, you overthrow it, and you get around it a little bit, and it sweeps instead of drops.
Here's Neil Walker. That one is ripped into right center field. It's a base hit. Gregorius will round third. He's coming home. He'll score. Moving to third is Sanchez, and Walker picks up an RBI single. 3-0 Yanks.
Boy, that has to be a good feeling for Neil Walker, who's been scuffling a little bit lately. Not pitching around Gary Sanchez, but not giving in to him. And when you're standing on deck, you realize that if you're Neil Walker, saying they're going to come get me. They want a piece of me, and he just answered that.
Well, Neil Walker's not a 160 hitter.
Yep.
You know, you say what you want. You know what you think about what's happened so far this year. He's always been an above-average hitter, and he gets a hanging breaking ball there. To your point, Michael, flat. Those kind of breaking balls pull up a chair. They take a seat and wait for you to take a lash. I threw a lot of those. Those sliders that pull up a chair, that's not a good thing. They stop breaking. Now, if you're the Yankees and you're on that bench, you're like, let's knock him out. Let's get this guy out. And you're Houston bullpen, you get a little stirring. You're like, hey, we might get some action down here today. If you're a long reliever, you're not sitting down right now. You're up and moving around.
High pop-up on the right side. Gonzalez will run out of room.
Even though there are 2 outs here. But yeah, that's what you're doing. You're like, yeah, I better stand up and move around a little bit just in case. One big swing from Andujar right here. And it's going to be a short day for Mr. McCullers, potentially.
Did he go? Yes, he did. And Andujar down on strikes. But the Yankees get a run. 2 hits and 2 men left. We'll go to the bottom of the 3rd. 3-0 Yanks. RBI Baseball 18 delivers an all-new franchise mode and much more. RBI Baseball 18 is available now. Learn more at rbigame.com. Rated E for everyone. Yankees lead 3-0 as we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. The Houston offense now 24 straight scoreless innings. And that's their longest stretch since 1985. Here's Brian McCann as the Yankees want to continue that streak. 8-9-1 for the Astros against Tanaka. One and 0. McCann with a .387 on base percentage. That's the best for any catcher in the big leagues. And he has a 1-2 count.
Noticed early in this game, Gary Sanchez trying to call fastballs, calling them in a little bit, elevated. 3 in a row to McCann.
And he goes around and down on strikes.
Reads fastball, gets a slider. Swings like that.
You know what, David, I know there's numbers in everything today's game. Batting average against the slider, batting average against the split, batting average against the fastball. But the fastball numbers are elevated, but I'm sure they're badly located fastballs.
Marisnik lines a single to right.
And if you look at that replay, probably a poorly located fastball gets drilled into right field.
Well, it's a great point, Flash. You know, everything has context. You have to give it context. One pitch leads to the other. The fastball led to the strikeout on McCann in the previous at-bat. This one, he's just trying to jump ahead. Got a little too much plate, up and out. Marisnik was ready to take a first pitch swing.
Here's Springer. He struck out in the first inning. He doesn't throw the fastball all that often. It's all splitter and sliders this year, 65.7%. High fly ball. Center field. Gardner's there to make the play, 2 away.
Yep, we're starting to see the frustration now with all the numbers that you were talking about, Michael. A hanging slider right down the middle, and he just missed it. I talked last night, as a hitter, you know when you've given an at-bat away or you've missed a pitch or you were dominated like they were last night by Severino, and that was just missed a hanging slider.
Yes, Tanaka got away with one there.
Altuve almost had an extra base hit in the first inning. Missed hitting that yellow line down the left field foul line by about an eyelash. Is how close. And you just wonder, how does the tenor of that inning change if that's a double? You just, I mean, I know it's a cliche, game of inches, but wow. That's how different this game could be if that's a fair ball. Instead, it was a 1-2-3 first inning. Sanchez blocks the ball. It rolls far enough away, allowing Marisnik to go to second.
Well, we'll take another look at this slider, and it's kind of that in-between ball for a catcher to block, because it doesn't bounce in front of you where you recognize it right away. It looked like Sanchez thought he had a chance to catch it. Got caught in between.
Anytime you throw a slider and it lands in the other batter's box, that's a hard thing to block.
Yeah.
You kind of, you in front. Yeah, that's on the catcher. You could say what you want, but that thing sweeping, see the chalk? That's on the batter's box line. That's on the pitcher, in my opinion.
That's one of those, David, as a catcher, you don't recognize it out of his hand in the dirt. You're anticipating in the dirt, but it's more side to side instead of 12 to 6 on a clock. Sometimes you get caught in between.
Swing and a miss, 2-2. Altuve has a 7-game hitting streak working. And he's 10 for 28 during the streak. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Altuve down on strikes. 1 for 19 the Astros are with runners in scoring position in this series. They've now gone 25 straight scoreless innings against Yankee pitching.
T-Mobile presents Hats Off for Heroes, because no matter where you serve or when you
Fourth inning, Yankees lead 3-0. Torreyes leads off and actually takes a pitch for a strike. Infield RBI single for him in the second inning. He's hit safely in all 11 of his starts. Hitting .405. Audi scoreboard, 3-0 Yanks. 2 fastballs by McCullers, 2 strikes. It'll be Torreyes, Torres, and Gardner. Over the mound. Was he safe or out? What kind of call was that? I don't know. He pumped him out and he had a safe sign too. That was a double call. Watch this. He goes safe.
You can't be wrong that way. You got both bases covered.
Correa really took his time on that and almost blew the call because of it.
It looked like he got caught in between on a hop.
Gleyber Torres. Beautiful play by Correa. The throw to first. Got him. Oh, what a play. Robbing Gleyber Torres of a hit.
We've seen this before in this series from Correa, going to his right And the little jump and the strong throw across the diamond. A nice play by Gonzalez to pick it out of there, a la Derek Jeter again.
No way he just made that play. That's what I'm thinking. When that ball, that's a base hit. All the way. Stunning play.
That's about as good a play in the hole as you're going to see.
What would you say? Derek Jeter back in the day would jump a little bit higher with the throw right there. I mean, he didn't get very far off the ground. What arm strength you have to be able to do that.
I mean, no base, Flash. I mean, this is just pure arm strength. He didn't plant. He just wheeled and dealed. I need Clyde Frazier to call that play. Dishing and swishing.
Styling and profiling.
And a 1-2-3 inning for the first time today for Lance McCullers, helped by the brilliant defense of Carlos Correa. Using Fox Sports Go, presented by T-Mobile. You make a great play, you have to lead off, right? And that's what's happening. Carlos Correa steps in. Correa, Gurriel, and Reddick against Tanaka as we go to the bottom of the fourth. Yankees up 3-0.
Another look at it. Look at the range, first of all, is incredible. Strength of the throwing arm, the accuracy. You wonder if a defensive play like that can get them fired up a little bit.
Nobody makes that play. He's probably the only one. I mean, maybe Anderson Simmons, but the arm strength on the end of that play is deep in the hole as you can get.
Audi scoreboard 3-0 Yanks. Bottom of the fourth. Fouled away. See what it says on StatCast on this play. Now, David, I know you always can find these numbers, and I can't. What's the likelihood of that being an out?
Yeah, we need to dig a little deeper. The probability of that play being made. Have to dig a little deeper, but that is a 5-star defensive play without a doubt, meaning the highest degree of difficulty. I mean, He had to take 10 steps almost just to get to the ball.
And made the throw from shallow left.
On Glaber, you know, on Glaber, who can run.
The 0-2. Battling. This will be the 50th pitch coming up for Tanaka. Swing and a miss. Correa down on strikes. We go to Bob Lorenz, who has some news from the studio. Wow. Here's Gurriel. High fly ball, and it's a foul ball to left. I always wondered how Ichiro would do, and you see his total hits between Japan and the MLB, 43-67. How would he do without baseball? Baseball was an all-consuming thing for him, and I didn't think he ever wanted to retire. He might have been gently pushed.
He could go back and play in Japan right now if he wants to continue. He's always been on record as saying he wants to make it till he's 50 years old. It's not going to happen here.
You remember when he came over and everybody was critiquing his swing and how much he drifted in the batter's box and no way he's going to be able to hit major league pitching? Well, those numbers prove that he did it just fine.
Gurriel with a fly ball to left field. 2 outs.
I faced Ichiro his rookie year, one of my last year of pitching, and I threw him my best backdoor slider, to your point, Flash. And there's no way he's going to get this because he's drifting, he's flying open. He went out and covered it and hit it halfway up the green monster. And turned around, I looked, and he's standing on second smiling at me, and I was like, wow. I mean, that's really what I said, just wow. What a talent.
Here's Josh Reddick. Shift is on. Only Torres on the left side. And a strike.
First time I ever saw Ichiro in a series, it got to the point where you couldn't let him hit the ball the other way. He hit a ground ball to the left side of the infield. It was a hit. So you have to come in a little bit, have him pull the baseball, and he had surprising power. I'm loving Tanaka's mix today with it, throwing his fastball a little bit more, elevating it.
14 straight strikes thrown from Tanaka. No messing in Texas.
Fielded by Torres. He flips to Tanaka. And that will do it, a 1-2-3 inning. 25, now 26 straight scoreless innings. An amazing 26 straight scoreless innings by Yankee pitching against this Astro offense. Judge, Gregorius, and Stanton against McCullers. Judge is 0 for 2, fly ball to right, and a tapper back to the mound. One and 0. GMC scoreboard 3-5-0, leading 0-2-0. One and one. Ground ball to Correa. One away. Celebrate Cinco de Mayo weekend at Iguana, New York City's favorite Mexican restaurant and dance lounge, located at 240 West 54th Street, just west of Broadway. Come have fun.
Okay.
All right, 3 of us go.
I'm in.
Little dance lounge?
Yeah, Meredith maybe. Yeah, Meredith's in. We'll be there on Cinco de Mayo. Here's Didi Gregorius. He's 2 for 2. 0-1. What he's done against McCullers. How about that? 7 for 10. 2 doubles and a ribby.
Well, you wonder what McCullers will do now. A couple of opposite field hits, the double off the wall and a base hit. That's what you're thinking is going to happen. He's going to come in with some fastballs and to look up there and know that Didi has his 10 home runs and 30 RBI, so I'd be careful on the inner half.
You have to watch if you're the Astros, third time through the order. You see how the batting average against jumps up so drastically to 379. And this is the third time through the order. Two. High fly ball deep left. Going back is Reddick on the track. He'll make the play for the second out.
Didi starts adding that piece to his game. Watch out. I mean, it's already watch out. He's a player of the month, but predominantly kind of a pull hitter now. All of a sudden, well, he's really working on all aspects of his game. Chasing less pitches, driving it the other way.
Stanton takes a strike. Oh, he talked about where pitchers pitch off the rubber, and you can see McCullers worked from the extreme first base side of the rubber.
Those holes matter. That was a great shot there. You know, when you see the holes in front of the rubber, you know, where the pitcher starts from. You can see where Tanaka's is over here. McCullers way over there, and sometimes you start bumping heads, you know, and you get out of my hole, you know. Hey, you go out there and you got to fill it back in. And
well, I would think the landing spot would be the bigger deal, right?
Absolutely. More important is the landing spot. If you talk about the first inning being the toughest for a pitcher. Well, you got to get those holes dug out. You know, that's all about your alignment. Yeah, you got to get a tool to clean out your cleats in between, too.
Now, David, why does Tanaka actually have a hole near the rubber, and it doesn't seem as if McCullers does, like he's just using the rubber and pushing off that?
You can see a slider hole. It's a preference. Tanaka likes to dig. He's a digger. Some pitchers are real diggers. Kind of like a track star that, you know, you need something to push off on. Some pitchers don't dig as much, but you know, when you're bumping heads out there and you're in my hole, you got problems, especially landing, as like you said, Flash.
Were you a digger?
I was a digger.
Yeah?
Absolutely, I was a digger. And sometimes during the course of a game, you know, like I said, bumping heads, if another pitcher got into my hole and dug it out even more, I'd have to move on the other side of the rubber.
Oh, really?
Sometime during the middle of the game, I would just change and move.
Oh, Stan works a walk. And that wouldn't upset you, having to move away?
I did that a lot in my career. Some pitchers it very much would upset. You know, I like to move around a little bit out there and make changes start at times when you're struggling. Chris Bosio used to do it every batter, whether it was a left-handed hitter or a right-handed hitter. He would move to opposite sides of the rubber depending on what, you know, whether he's facing a lefty or a righty.
So you did everything. You moved around the mound. You changed arm angles. You went a little three-quarter, then over the top.
I think he was bad with commitment.
Definite commitment issues. Schizophrenic.
Sanchez grounds one foul. Sanchez has walked twice. Yankees lead 3-0. The walk to Stanton, the third, former Colors. 83 pitches, 50 strikes, 33 balls. I say foul ball. McCann's going to wise out a foul ball.
I agree with Brian McCann there. I don't think anybody touched it.
A.J. Hinch will get an explanation. Unless it hit his arm.
That's the only thing.
That's the only thing,
Yeah.
right?
That's a fair ball. Watch Sanchez's backswing. Is there contact here somewhere?
Swing and a miss to get him on the strikeout. No runs, no hits, no errors, one man left. We're halfway through. It's 3-0 Yankees. Weekend at Iguana, New York City's favorite Mexican restaurant and dance lounge. We go to the bottom of the fifth inning here in Texas, Houston, Texas, and it's 3-0 Yankees as they're trying to take 3 out of 4 from the defending world champion Astros. GMC scoreboard 3-5-0, leading 0-2-0. That is a good-looking hat. A nice mustache, too. Oh, look at that. Handlebar. Here's Bregman. Ground ball, short. Didi. The scoop by Walker. 1 pitch, 1 out. You know, we're talking about diggers on the mound, and our good buddy Buster Only just texted me. He said he remembered a great digger battle you had with LaTroy Hawkins. Do you remember that specifically?
Yes, absolutely. Back and forth. I would fill it back in and then go back out the next inning. He'd dig it back out, you know. Like a dog trying to bury a bone, you know. I ended up moving.
Here's Gonzalez. Now at home, I would think it's less of a problem. You could ask your ground crew to come out and fill the hole, right?
You can, but the textures on every mound is different. The mixture of clay and dirt, every mound in every ballpark has a little different feel to it. Not only the slope, we tend to focus on the slope and the feel and the backdrop. The texture of the mound just as important in Toronto. Very sticky clay.
Yes. Batter's box felt the same way when you would try to dig in as a hitter. Toronto, one of the best.
These little things matter, you know, the comfort level for pitchers on a mound. Why do you pitch well in this ballpark? There's, you know, a different feel. And
I've never seen a grounds crew work as much as the Toronto grounds crew works on that mound. It's like they don't have grass to cut, so they spend like hours just pounding the mound.
it is the stickiest, hardest mound in the big leagues. Tanaka finally threw a ball, and then another strike for the K. Had 18 strikes in a row, then mixed in a ball, and then this pitch.
So 2-away here in the bottom of the 5th inning. 3-0 Yankees. Tanaka, last 2 starts very good, and this one so far very good. Here's Brian McCann. Strike. All he's doing is throwing strikes.
And they're not just strikes. I mean, that's bottom of the zone, perfectly located. The fastball that he missed that you were talking about, David, just missed off the plate on an 0-2 count.
And that one is punched into left center field, a base hit for McCann. So he picks up a single.
Well, if you're going to give up a hit, you want it on these types of swings. It's a quality pitch. You just tip your cap to McCann. He reaches out and pokes it. But those are the type of swings you try to induce when you're on the mound.
Fielded by Tanaka, and he gets Marisnik, and it is 27 straight scoreless innings for Yankee pitching against the Astros. We played 5. It is 3-0 Yanks. Don't forget to come celebrate Cinco de Mayo weekend at Iguana, New York City's favorite Mexican restaurant and dance lounge. 2017 ALCS and World Series, both in 7 games. It's the only other team in Major League history to do that. We will find out. Bottom of the inning. And that got a big piece of McCann, the foul ball by Walker.
You've talked during this series about how important Brian McCann is, and he just takes one right off of the right foot. He has those flaps over the top, but it looked like it got him right on the side.
Do you just automatically get a pain in your foot, Flash, when you see that?
You flinch a little bit.
Got recall. I'll never forget the videos that we had of Thurman Munson back behind the plate. Some of those shots we got of him groaning in pain. Get right back up, put his mask on.
Oh, and 2 on Walker. Walker was hit by a pitch and scored a run in the second, then a solid RBI single right center, driving the Yankees' 3rd run. That was in the 3rd inning. So on this trip, he is 3 for 17.
Jim Reynolds, the home plate umpire, gave Brian McCann a little bit of time and see him talking to him, making sure he's okay, and actually was catching the first game that Jim Reynolds worked behind home plate. And the only reason I remember that is because he admitted to me how nervous he was. First game in the big leagues working the plate, and it reminded me of my first game in the big leagues. Richie Garcia was the home plate umpire. And I said to him how nervous I was. I couldn't even throw the ball back to the pitcher. I was so nervous. And he put his hand on my right shoulder, said, "Kid, we'll get through this together." Appreciate it, Richie.
Fly ball left field. Reddick makes the play. So Reynolds admitted it to you. I'm nervous.
I ran out there. I was with Tampa Bay, and I knew I didn't know him, and just said, "How you doing?" And he said, "I'm so nervous right now. This is my first game working the plate in the big leagues." And I told him the Richie Garcia story, and I said, "We'll get through it together."
Now, did you take advantage of him and try to make him more nervous?
You know me better than that. Would I do that to somebody?
Probably, yes.
Maybe I did a little bit.
Here is Andujar. Richie Garcia in Yankee lore because he was the right field umpire for the Jeffrey Mayer home run play on the Derek Jeter fly ball. Ground ball to third. Bregman. Remember who the right fielder was, David?
Yes. Tony Tarasco.
Yeah. Here it is.
Richie thanks you for that, Michael. Tony knew it. Jeffrey Mayer's now 68 years old.
So many things are different from that day. I mean, now there's replay. People did end up beating the Wiz. It's out of business, so. And Derek Jeter owns the team.
I shopped at the Wiz.
Me too.
Got a big boom box for the pool.
Two and one on Torreyes. Torreyes, an infield RBI single in the second, then grounded to short. That was in the fourth. 3-0 Yankees. We're in the sixth. High pop-up. Springer with the call on the catch, and the Yankees go down in order against McCullers. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. It's 3-0 Bombers. The only other team in Major League history to do that. How about your team, David? Kansas City Royals?
There you go.
Good call.
1985. And speaking of if we had replay review.
Little squibber to the right side. Worrell races over to cover. The throw doesn't get him. Worrell.
I'll give this to Don Dinkinger, who is that first base umpire right there, and missed that call. One of the best stand-up guys I've ever been around. Has really owned that for the years. Really worn it, first of all. And really owns it. Really, I've seen him at charity events and handle every question with class. If you think that umpires that miss calls like that it doesn't bother them, you're wrong. They live with it forever. Richie Garcia, Don Dinkinger, good guys.
Jim Joyce.
They owned it, and they live with it, and they handle it.
And, you know, we just mentioned three plays famous in baseball history, and those are three good umpires. And Jim Joyce is considered one of the better umpires,
Yes.
and, you know, he cost the kid Galarraga a perfect game.
Yeah. One of my favorites. One thing about Jim Joyce, he would work with you back there. You know, if you liked a pitch and he didn't quite agree with it, he'd say, you know what, I'm going to give that a better look next time.
Yeah, you could talk to him, right?
Yeah, yeah. Again, I've said it a few times, Tanaka using his fastball off the plate in. He's using it up. And perfect lead to your scouting report, right? Protecting the splitter. You got to respect the fastball.
Ground ball to Didi. And Springer is 0 for 3. Tanaka's been great, David.
Well, just razor sharp. He is all over the strike zone. And when you're getting swings and misses like that, especially on ones that are in the strike zone that would have been called whether you swing or not, that tells you all you need to know. Below the strike zone, Tanaka is deadly, but some of these pitches would have been rung up had the hitter not swung. So high quality stuff from Tanaka today and razor sharp control.
High fly ball, right center. Altuve retired by Gardner, 2 away. How about the Yankee starters in the last 12 games? 7-1, 1.89. And that's the best in baseball since April 21st. Opponents hitting 170 against them.
Tanaka's last 10 hitters, 26 strikes, 3 balls.
Here's Carlos Correa. Big cut. 0-1. There's a breakdown. No walks. And he struck out 5 on 72 pitches. And this is his 3rd time through the order. And he works a 1-2-3 6th inning. Check this out. 28 straight scoreless innings by Yankee pitchers. Pinstripes is back. Don't miss this real-life behind-the-scenes look at the Scranton Rail Riders and see top prospects like Gleyber Torres get the call of a lifetime. Catch the return of Homegrown Tuesday at 11, only on Yes. And here is Gleyber Torres, who got that call, and you'll see that on the first Homegrown. And a strike.
Well, when you heard me talk about Gleyber Torres and how he's ready to hit all the time, it reminded me of Gurriel. And you see side by side how they have like 70% of their weight back, locked and loaded. So when you watch Torres hit, you watch Gurriel hit, it's so simple. Hands are in the same spot, bat angle's the same, and the weight on the back leg puts himself in a really good hitting position. A veteran hitter on the left, young hitter on the right.
One and two. Torres with a sac fly in the second, then when robbed of a base hit on a great play by Correa in the fourth. Cadillac scoreboard 3-0 Yankees.
When you think of his at-bats for a young hitter, he doesn't give them away. He doesn't get dominated. Might not get a hit, it might not be right on time, but he always gives himself a chance. Sign of a good young hitter.
Hitting .308, and you just get the feeling he's not going anywhere. He'll be here for a long time. Got to give some credit to McCullers, David. Looked like he was struggling. Didn't look like he pitched 5 innings. Here he is out on the mound in the 7th.
Yeah, he really does deserve a lot of credit. He was on the ropes for a minute. Has righted the ship, and I did not see him in the 7th inning in this game.
Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. And Torres did not like that call. Punched out by Tumpane.
Get a look from the side. The pitcher wants it, right? You want that?
There's so many borderline calls throughout the course of a game, pitches. That was right to the borderline.
Joe Smith is up alongside Tony Sipp. Sipp is the Astros' only lefty in their bullpen. There's Gardner. Brett is 0 for 3 on the road trip, 1 for 19. But his one was a base hit in the first game that made the game 2-1. The Yankees couldn't complete the comeback. That's the game they've lost so far in the series. There was a strike. Yankees have 5 hits. The Astros have 3. Final game of a 7-game road trip for the Yankees. They swept the Angels in Anaheim. They've taken 2 out of 3 from the Astros here at Minute Maid. This is game 4. Yankees come home for 3 against the Indians starting tomorrow night. That game will be on Pix 11, pre and post game on Yes. Then Monday is their first off day after playing 18 straight games. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, the Boston Red Sox come to town. That should be fun. Chases a pitch up and away, and he goes down on strikes.
Almost like an emergency hack when you're looking for a breaking ball and you think you're going to get a breaking ball and you get a fastball and you say, uh-oh, I better go after that. Too late.
Judge grounds one to short, backhanded by Correa. The throw is high, and Judge is out to end the inning. Judge is looking into the dugout. The Yankees are saying, wait a minute. We'll see if they're going to challenge. And we'll see if they should. Pretty close. Boone still has his hand up. And they will not challenge, so the Yankees go down in order. The end of 6.5 time for the 7th inning stretch. 3-0 Yanks. as well. 8 shutout innings in the second game of this set. Time for the game summary brought to you by your local Nissan dealer. 3-5-0 for the Yanks, 0-3-0 for the Astros. Tanaka 6, McCullers 7. Neil Walker and Ronald Torreyes each with RBI singles. The Astros 28 consecutive scoreless innings without scoring a run. That's what a scoreless inning would be. And the pitch to Gurriel is a strike. Gurriel is 0 for 2. Fouled off behind the plate and out of play. Tanaka looking to pick up his 5th win of the year. He came in at 4-2 with a 4.37. And the 6 shutout innings have brought him to 3.73. Cadillac scoreboard, 3-0 Yanks.
You know, David, I can only relate it to being a hitter where you see the rest of your lineup putting good swings, hitting balls hard. You gain confidence. I'm sure the same thing for a starting rotation.
Oh, absolutely. It is contagious on both sides.
Grounded in the hole, a base hit for Gurriel. Leadoff single for the Astros DH, and that'll bring up Reddick. And Larry makes a call.
Well, you see that pitch count is unbelievable. 77 pitches here in the 7th inning, but when you have a bullpen like the Yankees have, and it is locked and loaded, no reason not to get it going.
What easy innings in the 5th, 8 pitches. In the 6th, 9 pitches. That's why his pitch count is in good shape. And a strike. A strike throwing machine today.
Astros down 3 runs. Tanaka dealing. Quandary for the pitcher, the catcher. Okay, we got an extreme shift going on here. If you're Reddick and you're not looking to hit a ground ball to shortstop right now, you're not doing it right.
One and two.
Off speed, trying to get him to roll over and pull. But, you know, now Torreyes is going to move now with 2 strikes. Easier said than done, and I know maybe that's a little bit of a grumpy old pitcher, get off my lawn mentality, but you know, you're down by 3 runs. First couple of pitches there, all you needed was a ground ball to short to bring the tying run up. Now you're in protect mode with 2 strikes.
Two and two.
You know, it's kind of who was it? Herm Edwards? You played to win the game, right?
Now one is looped into center field. It's going to dunk in for a base hit. Gurriel advances to second. So back-to-back singles open up the 7th inning for the Astros.
Well, the Houston crowd starting to get into it now. They haven't had a whole lot to cheer for this afternoon. So when the decisions get tough for Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach, Aaron Boone, the manager. Got a pitcher in total control. Now first and second, nobody out, and Chad Green getting his gun hot.
And to be fair to Tanaka, I mean, those are 2 off-balance swings as well. I mean, you give Reddick credit for staying on that pitch, but you could see this is almost, he's down and digs it. That's just good hitting, but also a good pitch. Same with Gurriel, kind of an off-balance swing that found the hole. So Tanaka's still making pitches.
Here's Bregman. And it clips Bregman on the way by, and the bases are loaded and nobody out. Single hit batter. And do they take out Tanaka now with the bases loaded and nobody out in a 3-0 lead?
Looks like the Yankee bench wants to get a look and make sure that was a hit batter. And also, by doing this, you give Green more time to warm up.
Didn't look like it got him. Maybe the shirt.
Boy, a whisper, if anything, and that's worth a challenge. I agree with Aaron Boone here. A lot of times umpires obviously cannot see that. You go on sound. If you hear a little tick on the way by is usually what you go by on a close call like that. Good acting job by Bregman. He played it.
Well, if anything, this is certainly getting Green more throws.
He reacts right away. Bregman does, and you know it's tough to act like that. That's just an instinct when a ball clips you.
Showing it on the big board, and the crowd kind of groans because it doesn't look like it hit him.
And I don't think the sound we heard is we had a great shot there. The sound on the way by is the tick on the mitt, because Sanchez barely got Webb on that. So if you're an umpire and you hear that, that sound almost sounds like maybe it hit him in the arm. Let's listen.
Hard to tell. And if it hit him, it hit the blousy part of the shirt. I'm not sure that would make much of a sound.
That's not the sound. The sound was off of Sanchez's mitt.
Well, huge ramifications on this decision from back in New York. If they overturned it, it's first and second, and Bregman's back at the plate.
I think you probably could do a judgment, since if it's ruled that it's not a hit batter, it was a wild pitch, and you could allow the runners to advance.
Sure, second and third.
Well, they're allowing Tanaka to get his throws in. And New York's taking a while, so they're really giving this a look at many angles.
It's a good challenge from Aaron Boone, worth a shot.
Well, they say it hit him. They will not overturn. And now, Boone's going to take Tanaka out of the game. So Tanaka absolutely coasting. And for some reason, he wanted a ball to take with him into the dugout. He gives Boone the ball that was the game ball. And he asked for another ball, which he has in his glove. So Boone's going to call on Chad Green in a sticky situation. Bases loaded, nobody out. Yankees leading 3-0. Bottom of the 7th inning. Tanaka's afternoon is over. tight look on whether or not that ball hit him. Let's see. Do you see it, guys? I mean, that's about as tight a look as we have. I don't see the shirt moving. Wow.
Well, it's certainly not enough to overturn it. That's for sure. It is so close.
All right, so Chad Green inherits a sticky situation. Bases loaded, nobody out, and Marwin Gonzalez at the plate. Yankees are playing for the double play. Soft ground ball to short. No one will be out, and 1 run will be in. And finally, the Astros have scored a run. And it's 3-1 Yankees.
Well, the inning continues with some soft contact, David. You talked about the first 2 hits. Not hit real hard. The hit by Bregman on maybe the jersey, and now this. First pitch swinging Gonzalez right off the end of the bat. Gregorius playing double play position. He's not going to be able to make any play here as he comes in and fields it, and a good decision just to eat it.
So for the first time since early in the first game, the Astros score a run. And now they are looking to tie this game at least. Bases loaded, nobody out. Here's McCann against Chad Green. Line drive, right field, it's a base hit. Reddick scores, Bregman will stop at third. The throw cut off by Walker, and it's 3-2 Yanks. And the bases loaded still, nobody out.
Well, the Astros not waiting around against Chad Green. They're going up there ready to hit. Tanaka can only watch from the dugout.
Two straight sliders from Green to start this inning. The first one to Gonzalez was better. That one got a lot of plate.
And Larry Rothschild's going to go out and have a talk with Green as Derek Fisher is sent up as a pinch hitter for Marisnik. So absolute dominance by Yankee pitching. And in this inning, it's gone the other way as the Astros finally break through, and still nobody out. So Fisher pinch hitting for Marisnik. The Yankees at double play depth except for Torreyes at third. They'll give up the lead. Well, give up a 3-2 advantage and make it 3-3 if they can get a 2-out ground ball. And there's a strike. So he threw the fastball. Those are the numbers on Tanaka. Didn't walk a batter. 5 strikeouts. Runner at third is his responsibility. Moving fastball, backhanded by Sanchez, 1-1. And the pitch. Off the glove of Sanchez. Here comes Bregman. And he gets hit with the throw, but he is safe, and the game is tied. Sanchez threw the ball, and it was right at Bregman, as Green was not quite there. 3-3. Second and third now.
Green going with that fastball, but yanking it, almost taking off on him. A tough play for Sanchez.
Looking away, up and in at 97, sailing on him. see the movement on that pitch. When you're sitting down and away, and you get that kind of sailing four-seam action.
Now the Yankees bring the infield in, second and third, nobody out. 2-1 count on Fisher. Two and two.
Well, if Bregman didn't get hit the first time, Sanchez made up for it and got him at home plate. They're going to call that a pass ball.
That's a tough call.
I agree with you. And you know, I'm on the pitcher side.
Green looking for a strikeout here. Springer's on deck. Swing and a miss. Big strikeout. One away.
Well, there's no doubt Green's best pitch is his fastball, and he's gotten back to it. You know, he got burned with 2 first pitch sliders to start this inning off. Gonzalez was a pretty good one. He got the cue shot, but then the McCann one, he hung. That's the one that stung. But if you're going to get beat with your best pitch. And for Chad Green, nothing against his slider, but his fastball is well above average.
Levinsky is up. Yankees have the infield in again for Springer. He's 0 for 3. Second and third, 1 man out. Altuve's on deck. Misses outside with the fastball. After 28 scoreless innings, there are more runs in this inning for the Astros than in the first 3 games of the series combined, in this inning alone. 1-0. 1-1.
One of the problems in this situation for the Yankees is the infield's in, and rightly so, but Chad Green's more than likely to get a pop-up than a ground ball, unless they decide to go to a slider.
Fastball again, 1-2.
Got a piece of Gary Sanchez. Looks like he's moving his right throwing hand. I'd love to see him have that hand kind of behind the shin guard to protect it a little bit. It's exposed and it gets clipped.
Yeah, we've seen Sanchez do that at times and then bring it behind him as well. But
and here comes Steve Donahue, the Yankees athletic trainer. He wants to take a look. Is it hard, John, with runners on base to keep the hand behind?
It is. You know, I always tried to put it behind my shin guard, but what would naturally happen is it would creep up a little bit as you're trying to get in a blocking position, a more athletic position, and the hand is exposed sometimes.
Is that a good sign, John?
That's a good sign, I think. What I did like is that they would always teach you to kind of relax that hand. You know, the worst thing you could do is make a tight fist and you get a foul ball, and then for some reason that's how they
go with the blow.
Yeah.
Right? It's a very important right hand for the Yankees' fate.
Gonzalez at third, McCann is at second. Springer at the plate with a 1-2 count. Altuve on deck. 3 runs in, it's 3-3.
Watch Springer swing. He's one of those launch angle guys. Get the ball in the air. I'd love to see an elevated fastball.
And the 1-2. 2-2.
Took a shot with the slider there. Got it down. Good block. I go right above the box again right now. Four-seamer with some hair on it.
And the pitch. Knocked down by Green. A run will score. The out is made at first, and the Astros lead 4-3 as McCann stays put at second.
Well, Chad Green hasn't been able to find the top of the zone. This one right down the middle and right back up the middle. Good recovery to at least get the out. But Springer finds the barrel.
Here's Altuve. He is 0 for 3. And he has a 7-game hitting streak. So 4-3 Astros just like that. Tanaka dominant through 6. And he will not get a decision in this one. The go-ahead run belonged to Chad Green. Throw to second. Not in time. McCann just got back. I guess his hand's okay.
I guess the hand is just fine.
Clearly safe, but what a throw.
And the 1-1. Soft ground ball to Torres. And that will do it. But the Astros score 4 runs on 3 hits, 1 man left. Of coverage, the world's biggest sporting event begins June 14th on Fox and FS1. All right, so we have some changes for the Astros. Derek Fisher takes over in left field. Springer moves from right to center. And Reddick moves from left to right. And a new pitcher is Chris Davinsky. Good numbers, and he's going to face the heart of the Yankee order, starting with Didi Gregorius. Hyundai scoreboard 4-3, Astros top of the 8th inning.
That's what Davinsky is known for, that power changeup. Great arm speed, jumps at the hitter a little bit. Big time weapon for him.
It's almost as if A.J. Hinch uses Davinsky as his best, almost left-handed reliever option because of that changeup. Whenever there's left-handed batters late in the game, Davinsky's usually the choice.
If it's a save situation in the ninth, it's going to be interesting to see how Giles recovers from the self-inflicted punch in the face. A 1-2. Swing and a miss. Gregorius down on strikes.
It's a high-quality pitch because it looks like it's right down the middle. It's coming at you. Looks like he's leaving a cookie right there, and it just drops straight down.
Did a really nice job of setting it up too with an elevated fastball to pitch before changing eye levels.
Stanton swings and misses. There's a fastball. He throws hard at 95 miles an hour. Tyler Clippard, who spent some time here, said they helped straighten him out because they preached to him, you can still throw your change, but just keep changing eye level.
Right. He gets the benefit of a call here on a guy who's, what, 6'6"? We'll get another look from the side. Borderline at best.
So you see the difference in the pitches, 95 to 83. Usually if it's 10 miles an hour, it's very effective. So this is 12. One-two. Swing and a miss. Stanton down on strikes, 2 away.
Just at the mask, right, Flash? I mean, that's...
But again, it's a clinic on changing eye levels. So change up the pitch before, which was down, comes right back with an elevated fastball. See why his numbers are so good.
Sanchez takes a strike. David Robertson up. Davinsky really dealing. Crowd of 34,838 announced. Looking for a strikeout here of Sanchez. One and two. Strike three, Sanchez down looking. Dubinsky comes on and strikes out the side. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning here at Minute Maid Park. Astros lead the Yankees 4-3 on Yes. May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and you wonder, Dubinsky was nearly unhittable in the 8th. Will they have him pitch the 9th or bring in their closer, Giles? Hyundai scoreboard 4-3, Astros lead, and Giles is up. Oh, it's Will Harris.
Interesting.
A.J. Hinch has shown he will make adjustments on the fly, including last postseason, when he kind of gave up on his entire bullpen at one point, using Lance McCullers to close out games, or Brad Peacock, almost tandem type starts.
Correa, Gurriel, and Reddick against Green in his 2nd inning of work. Came on in relief of Tanaka in the 7th. David Hale up for the Yankees. 2-2. Popped up on the right side and makes the seats out of play. Fast pitch speed analytics brought to you by Fios by Verizon. 97 miles an hour on that fastball by Green. Deep to left. There it goes. See ya. 5-3 Astros.
David, you mentioned the slider, the second best pitch that Green has, and he kind of paid the price right there. Spinner right down the middle.
Taking out a little frustration. The futility of the Houston Astros offense this series has been let out of the bottle.
Did that hit a window or was it below? That was some shot. His 5th home run of the year. 22 ribbies. Here's Gurriel. He started the 4-run 7th inning. And a strike. Now Chasen Shreve joins David Hale.
He's 446 feet away, that home run.
High fly right field. Judge makes the play for the first out.
You're going to give him up, Flash.
We'll see it on StatCast with the glowing green line. Yes, it did hit a window. And that's going to do it for Chad Green. Aaron Boone makes a slow walk to the mound. He's got Reddick due up, and he's going to signal for Shreve. So Green, who's been so spectacular every time he pitches, struggles this time, and has put the Yankees in a 5-3 hole. And now they'll go to the bullpen to bring in Shreve against Reddick. Here in Houston, plus a look ahead to the Yankees' upcoming clash with the Cleveland Indians in the Bronx. It's only on Yes. So a 446-foot home run for Carlos Correa, who also has sparkled in the field today. And with one out here in the bottom of the 8th inning, Chasen Shreve will take over to face Josh Reddick. 16 strikeouts in 11 1/3 innings for Shreve. Fouled away. Oh, 0-2.
You know, Flash, and bullpen management, you're talking about this game and the choices you have if you're Aaron Boone and trying to, you know, work through the early season struggles, and now what do we have? Betances is back. Chad Green, you know, breakout year last year. David Robertson, Mr. Houdini. It's really going to be a big challenge for Aaron Boone, is how to find the right mix there. And of course, that inning unfolded so quickly. You know, Tanaka rolling, and then the next thing you know, the bases are loaded.
Ground ball to first. Walker beats Reddick. 2 outs.
You know, my personal preference would be Robertson and jams. Mr. Houdini, right? Bases loaded, men on base. If you've got a starter in the game and you know if he gets in trouble in this inning, I'm going to go get him, then Robertson, to me, is the best choice of the guys. I like Chad Green starting clean innings, dominating. Dellin Betances can get strikeouts at any time. But you got to get a lot of weapons. I mean, it's almost like there's no wrong choices, but that was a tough chance for that man today. Bases loaded, nobody out. Here you go, kid. Go get him.
Bregman takes a strike.
Made a good first pitch, really, and the cue shot.
Yep.
Gonzalez hits a cue shot where nobody was playing. A little bit of a Murphy's Law inning. These are all things that, you know, that we talk about all the time that are being discussed in Yankee universe. But to me, that's going to be you know, an interesting challenge for Larry Rothschild and Aaron Boone, is how the bullpen management shakes down and which buttons to push at which time.
It's going to be all the data, right, on matchups and who has better matchups, what pitch is a better matchup for a certain hitter.
Still human beings. It's still, you know, managing the moment. Nice to have all those weapons, I'll tell you that.
A lot of weapons, yep.
Marwin Gonzalez on deck. High fly ball, deep left center. Making the catch is Gardner in front of Stanton, and that will do it. But Correa's monster blast against Green gives the Astros a 2-run lead as we go to the 9th.
The field made some great plays defensively, and the big swing of the bat, his 5th home run, goes over 440 feet. That's your Land Rover drive of the game.
Like back in Little League, right? You played in the backyard, you break the neighbor's window, you throw things down and run away.
So that made it 5-3. Window looks like it's in okay shape. And Will Harris is going to come on to try to close this out. So obviously their closer is not closing today. Ken Giles got roughed up by the Yankees and himself a couple of days ago, so they go to Harris to get the final 3 outs. Neil Walker leads off. And a strike.
You know, Giles was so good before that rough outing, so manager A.J. Hinch kind of raising some eyebrows here with this decision.
1-1. As David said, he showed in the postseason not afraid to make moves and move away from the norm. 2-1.
I got a chance to talk to A.J. Hinch last postseason quite a bit, and what the thing that struck me is for an organization that's so known for analytics, that all he talked about was the human touch, dealing with human personalities, trying to manage the moment. Culture.
Yankees need a base runner to bring the tying run to the plate. And they have a base runner. So that brings Andujar up as the tying run to the plate. Now, the last time we saw Giles, Yankees had second and third, 1 out, first base is open, conference on the mound, and they decided to pitch to Sanchez. Hanging breaking ball, and there you have it. 3 runs on 1 swing. Giles was very upset walking off the mound and decided to punch himself in the face and then throw a bat, but handled the media beautifully after the game. There's a strike to Andujar. Said, I've got to do better. So that cost the team the game today. Andujar is 1 for 3. He singled in second, struck out and grounded to third. Neil Walker's at first. 3rd time he's on today. Grounded foul. Brad Peacock is up in the bullpen. And Aaron Hicks has moved on deck to pinch hit for Torreyes. You know, when you use multiple relievers, and everybody does it, you're asking every single one of those relievers to have a good day. And you knew that Davinsky was dealing, and you're not going to use your closer anyway. Wouldn't it have made sense to keep Davinsky in?
I thought we were trending in that direction. We talked about it in spring training. Aaron Boone talked about it in spring training. And I've heard a lot of managers looking for multiple inning relievers. A little different at the end of the game in the 9th inning.
There's a base hit for Andujar. And the tying runner's on base for the Yankees. First and second, nobody out. And Hicks is going to pinch hit for Torreyes. That kid's pretty impressive.
Harris did such a good job getting ahead, but couldn't make that final pitch to put Andujar away. And you give him credit for driving the ball the other way, not trying to do too much. McCann sets up away. It is away, but up. Andujar just smokes it into right field.
He gave in to Andujar, the kid who is known for chasing.
And another stroll to the mound. Let's explore not using Giles here, unless there's something wrong with him that he has not said to anybody. It seems strange that a guy who had been pitching very well all year until that one mistake to Sanchez is all of a sudden not the closer 2 days later. That doesn't make sense.
No, but you know, A.J. Hinch has shown this before, and if you remember that he yanked Oberholzer out of a game when he drilled one of the Yankee players a couple of years ago and DFA'd him the next day. I mean, culture means something to A.J. Hinch, and I'm sure he did not like that behavior the other night. He's not afraid to make a point. So I'm just speculating and guessing, but that would be one explanation.
So here's Hicks. Did not start today, so coming off the bench to pinch hit for Torres.
Remember A.J. Hinch going to apologize to Joe Girardi at that time. I believe it was 2 years ago, as Brett Oberholzer was the pitcher and really took a cheap shot and drilled one of the Yankee hitters after a home run. A.J. Hinch got him out of here in a hurry.
There he is. Rubbing his jaw. I wonder if he had something to do with that. Let me ask our director, was that in the bullpen or the dugout? Oh, he's in the bullpen, okay. Doesn't look like he's ready to come in with the hoodie on. So he's a spectator in this game. Oh, 2 count on Hicks. Gleyber Torres on deck. Good take there by Hicks, 1 and 2.
Take and wait, right? Don't call it. Yes, it's a good take. It's right on the borderline, too.
Five-3 Astros, 9th inning. First and second, nobody out for the Yanks. 1-2. 2 and 2.
Aaron Hicks has proved that he can grind out an at-bat. You're going to have to throw something in the strike zone to get him. Rarely does he chase.
3 and 2. Another good take.
It's one of the biggest improvements that Aaron Hicks has made from his Minnesota Twin days to his Yankee days now.
Walker at second and Duhar is at first. Nobody out, 3-2 count on Hicks. Harris sets and deals. Line drive, base hit, left field. Walker's going to stop at third, and the Yankees have the bases loaded and nobody out on the pinch hit single by Aaron Hicks.
What an at-bat by Hicks. 3 good takes away off the plate, and then you finish the at-bat with a nice base hit the other way.
A.J. Hinch has seen enough, so he's going to take the ball from Will Harris, and he's going to ask Brad Peacock to get out of a really tough jam. Bases loaded, nobody out, and trying to protect a 2-run lead.
First and second, nobody out. Okay, I'll spot you that one on the outside corner. Took a good lash at that one. Now I'm down 0-2, and that was the key. I spit on it. And again, down, not biting. The fish ain't biting. And I'm going to work myself into a fastball count, 3-2, and lace it to left field. And the Yankees are in business here. Bases loaded, nobody out.
Brad Peacock comes on to face Gleyber Torres. Yankees down by 2 here in the 9th. And there's a strike. This year, Peacock has inherited 3 runners in scoring position, and none of them have scored. This will be his 12th game, 16 strikeouts in 12 2/3 innings. So the rookie Torres, who's driven in 1 run, he's 0 for 2 with that sac fly. And that is going to be a base hit. Walker scores. Here comes Andujar. He'll score. Moving to third is Hicks. It's a 2-run single for the 21-year-old. And the Yankees have tied the game at 5.
For a young kid in the big leagues, you have to fight the temptation of trying to do too much, getting too big. We haven't seen that from Gleyber Torres. Simple approach, simple swing. Gets a breaking ball that's going to be out over the plate and just flips it into left field. You love the base hit, couple of RBIs, but you also love Aaron Hicks on first. The play's in front of him. He doesn't hesitate coming around second base. Gets into third with the head first slide. That is a huge base running play. Now at third with nobody out.
Still nobody out, as John said, and they have to bring the infield in with the go-ahead run at third. Brett Gardner at the plate. I just checked with somebody with the Astros, and there's nothing wrong with Giles. Just a decision by Hinch not to use him. Gardner is 0 for 4. He's had a rough road trip, 1 for 20 as he fouls it away.
Aaron Hicks getting to third base makes Brett Gardner's life a whole lot easier. In the numbers you just mentioned, Michael, struggling at this point. You just got to get a ball in the air to center field.
But a drag bunt here. You
That's
can actually get
possibility.
somebody in even with the infield in. Good runner at third.
And there's a lot on the table here. Safety squeeze. You have the possibility of Torres taking off.
Fly ball shallow center. Let's see if they try to tag. There's the catch. And Hicks just bluffs. The throw cut off.
Good base running play with nobody out right there. Wasn't deep enough. You have to be 100% sure. Got Aaron Judge in the on-deck circle coming to the plate, so smart base running by Aaron Hicks.
Here's Aaron Judge, so now with 1 out, they'll back up and try to play for the double play. Judge is 0 for 4. Hicks at third. Gleyber Torres at first. Chop to third. There's 1. They cannot get 2. Torres went in hard, and the Yankees lead 6-5. So a ribby for Judge as Hicks scores the go-ahead run.
Well, Hicks going on contact. Bregman had a decision to make. Do you go home or try to turn 2? I think turning 2 on Aaron Judge on that play may be a little questionable.
Split second decisions, as you see, and a high chopper as well. You got to come and get it. Once again, Aaron Hicks with excellent base running and very fast. And Torres in. It looked like Altuve just got ahead of himself trying to turn it so quickly.
Here's Gregorius. And there's a strike.
Going on contact again. Bregman, if he comes home, looks like he would have had some time. Decided to try for the double play, and it didn't work out.
Count 0-1 on Gregorius. 1-1. A walk, a single, and a fielder's choice, and the Yankees will turn it over to Aroldis Chapman in the bottom of the ninth to try to take 3 or 4 from the defending world champions. And that one gets past Brian McCann, and now Judge is in scoring position.
I've seen a few of those type of pitches today. Catcher sitting up away and yanked down and in. Gonna call that a wild pitch, and I gotta agree with it. This game's come down to 2 relievers coming into games with the bases loaded and nobody out.
Two and two.
Clearly, A.J. Hinch trying to send a message to his closer, Brian Giles, and giving him a little timeout. Is going to have to answer some questions after the game. Well, Ken Giles, rather.
Giles just taking notes out there. As Didi goes down looking. But the Yankees come back to score 3 runs in the 9th inning. A 21-year-old with a big 2-run single. And now Chapman will try to close it out. It's been that sort of series. Clutch hits, big-time pitching, close games. Astros finally break through. The Yankees bounce right back, and now they turn it over to their closer, Aroldis Chapman, to try to nail this down and pick up a 7th save in as many opportunities in game number 14 for him. 24 strikeouts in 13 innings. Well, when you look at that 9th inning, guys, you have to be impressed with the poise of a 21-year-old kid to get a big hit, and then the Aaron Hicks at bat was just exemplary.
Yes, it was. I mean, Aaron Hicks continues to grind out at bats and get good pitches to hit, and bought that 3-2 fastball. And yeah, flasher all over Gleyber Torres. I mean, reaching out and hooking that slider that stayed up just enough for him. Wow.
All right, so it's going to be the bottom third of the order for the Astros. Torres is ready at second. It'll be Gonzalez, McCann, and Fisher against the hard-throwing Chapman. Final game of this road trip. A 7-gamer, and then back to New York. Up and away, 1-0. So 6-5 Yankees, bottom of the 9th inning at Minute Maid Park. Two and 0. After the game, the Yankees head back to New York. They'll face the Indians in a 3-game set starting tomorrow night. And the Astros will travel to Arizona to meet the Diamondbacks. Swing and a miss.
Saw this from Chapman the other night. That fastball kind of running away from righties a little bit more than we're used to.
Now, once again, the Yankees will lose their DH as Andujar, who was the DH, moves to third, and Chapman will be batting in the number 8 slot in the lineup. 2-1. 2-2. We saw a fastball the other night, John, that just took off that he threw. He usually doesn't have movement like that. And the 2-2. Swing and a miss. 100 miles an hour. Gonzalez down.
No messing around there. 5 fastballs. Last one at 100.
Sanchez setting up away, but he got it right on the inside corner and right on by.
This is a pitch on Tuesday that we're talking about. It's actually the whole inning. And this is the pitch. And McCann pops one up on the right side. Walker puts it away, and the Astros are down to their final out. Evan Gattis will pinch hit for Fisher. He goes around. Crowd doesn't like it. Looked like he checked. I can see why they didn't like it. So in an 0-1 hole against Chapman. A 101 miles an hour, and the Yankees a strike away. And the 0-2. Swing and a miss. The ball gets away from Sanchez. He can't find it. And now he does. Throw to first. Not in time. The Astros are still alive. So a strikeout, and Gattis reaches on the wild pitch.
Well, it's a helpless feeling. It's a 101 mile an hour fastball that's down, and it's tough to locate where it is if you're Sanchez, and then the throw's going to be a little bit late. A strikeout and a wild pitch. Ball looked like it was blocked by Jim Reynolds, the home plate umpire, from Sanchez's view.
I'm not sure if Gary even got the glove on it. Looked like almost, yeah, maybe it bounced. Well, one of those in-betweeners, whether you're going to catch it in the air or get just like right under the glove.
Here's George Springer. One and 0. The game far from over as Springer has the power to end it.
Yeah, you start thinking some bad thoughts, right? When something like that happens to you, a strikeout, I think the game's over. Can't find the baseball. And Springer with all of his power up at the plate.
Gattis does not have great speed at first. There's a strike. There's great speed, 100 miles an hour. Max Stassi, the backup catcher, the only man left on the bench. That's why there's no one pinch running. Two outs, a 1-1 count on Springer. Yankees lead by 1, bottom of the 9th. Ground ball, base hit to left field. Gaddis will stop at second. Springer's at first. And Altuve will come to the plate. Now Gaddis is at second. Again, he doesn't have great speed. You could obviously use a pitcher to pinch run for him, but they're staying with him at second. Now here's Altuve, who's 0 for 4, and he has a 7-game hitting streak on the line.
How about this battle? Chapman against Altuve. Bad ball hitter. Usually puts the ball in play.
First and second, 2 outs, bottom of the 9th. Yankees up by 1. Pitch, swing and a miss. 101 miles an hour. He's faced him 4 times. He's picked up 1 hit.
This is an on your feet kind of point in the game, as everybody is on their feet and on the edge of your seat. As this whole series feels like a continuation of last year's ALCS.
The 0-1. 0-2 again, a strike away.
You got to stick with it, right? I mean, 101 right down the middle.
Almost looked like Altuve was surprised by that one. He's usually never surprised. Always ready to swing the bat. But for some reason took that pitch.
Gaddis at second, Springer's at first. Altuve at the plate. And the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Exhale, the Yankees win 6-5. What a series here in Houston as the Yankees take 3 out of 4 from the defending world champions and finish a road trip at 6-1. Pretty impressive on all fronts.
It really was, and when things looked so good with Tanaka dealing and then the Yankees lost the lead, it looked like a missed opportunity, but Gleyber Torres came through in a